On this episode of TAILLIGHT Confessions, we're visiting the great Josh Decker. Stay tuned.
Okay, let's go.
Behind the scenes of Track Shop. So, alright. So most people want to know, where did Track Shop come from?
Behind the scenes of Track Shop we're doing today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everybody coming to my ice cold garage in the middle of winter. And this is a perfect thing for me to do right now because I don't feel like working on cars. But, Track Shop, great question. I actually want to bounce back on you because I have always wanted to tell the story of really where live stream and pay-per-views came from, because a lot of people I see a lot of stuff on the internet that's like way out there. But let me just tell you a quick little story. Long time ago, Crash Course started. Everybody remembers Crash Course, Chris Marquardt. He's OG, right? And that was by far some of the best years of my life. How that started was I was in a brawl in Seneca County Demolition Derby, and the cops were there, and it wasn't great. It was a brawl. And afterwards, Chris Marquardt come up to me and said, I want to do a podcast, and I want you to be on the first one of tonight in a brawl. And I mean, I was juiced up, so I'm like, yes, I'm in. I love this idea. So I went to it, and we did it. And we had 43 viewers. We thought we were doing a stroke of business, folks. When we got done, we were on cloud 9. 43 people were watching this. We go outside. Chris is going to take us to the bar. Looks at Brian Tompkins, and he goes, do you want to come back and do a second episode? Before he can even get that out, I'm like, I'll be here. I'm coming back. I'll be here next week. And that's really how Crash Course Derby podcast started. Very organic. Like I wasn't even supposed to be on it. Chris did not choose me to be a person on the show. I just kind of pride myself in there. That's a fact. So how did Ben get involved, right? Ben was friends with us, and you guys remember Sam Williams. I'm going to come back to the first Blizzard Bash that we ever pay-per-viewed. If you guys can remember, Chris and I were on there. Ben was with us. Ben Hoss came that night. And the story of it is, Sam Williams called us and said, I can't pay you any money, but I want you guys to come out and do this, and let's try to blow it up. And if it goes well, I will try to pay you guys some money on the backside. Ben Hoss was like, we have to do this, we have to go. And Chris actually had Brian Tompkins, me, and Chris to go. Brian couldn't go last second. We were supposed to leave at 9 o'clock at night. At 7 o'clock, Brian couldn't go. I called Ben. You want to go to Blizzard Bash and be on a pay-per-view? Yes. And that's how that started. Ben drove us 30 hours out to Blizzard Bash and back. Ben was our chauffeur. He helped us. He was just like the man. And that's how Crash Course kicked off of doing live streams. And being out there in the world was really Sam Williams gave us this random thing. You come to Kansas, I'll try to make you big, you try to make me big. It was a thing. And at the end, Sam did give us some money, and we were again on cloud 9, right? We just had the greatest weekend ever. And that's where live streams kind of took off.
So how did you transition into Track Shop Live?
Great question. So we were going for a couple years with Crash Course, and we were trying to do two things. Chris was doing the podcast, and we were also doing live streams flying all over. And if you remember, we were in Utah and all over the country, and we had a lot of derbies set to live stream. And as you guys know, this sport is tough. Like, even with sponsors, none of us are making money. None of these vendors, not a lot of people are making money. Some are. Not a lot are. We were not making a lot of money. We were just trying to get to the next one and expand and become bigger, right? So we were always reinvesting. But it got to the point where Chris was thinking he wanted to stay here and do the podcast side and do the news side and what the country was doing. And Ben and I were still really hooked on the going around the country. We were loving going to Utah and stuff. So Johnny Gullo and Gumby offered to work with us. They had a guy named Bill, Uncle Bill. You guys all know Uncle Bill. This is how Uncle Bill got involved, right? Johnny and Gumby bring us Uncle Bill. We got this guy. He ended up being the best person, producer, director, greatest guy. We love him so much. And that's how we were able to start doing live streams with Track Shot Live.
So now, looking inside or looking from outside in, it looked like you guys fell apart between you and Chris, but you guys really didn't.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, it was just a split of entities.
I love Chris Marquardt. Let me tell you guys. Okay, actually, let me say something because the whole world's watching right now. I burn out Chris Marquardt, and I'm sorry for that. at the time, we were getting so big and so busy. We were all getting like asked to go to different things and different people. People were asking me to do these things, Crash Course to do these things. A lot of it is my fault, because at the time I just wanted to do more and more and more and get bigger. I didn't know what the cloud was, but I just wanted to keep going bigger. Chris was the smart one that wanted to stay on our business plan. And I was stupid enough to be like, well, let's just change it and do this and do that. It wasn't the right answer. And I burn out Chris a lot because I wanted to do these things and he tried to accommodate me. And I love him. He is the OG of ours. Can I go back 1 second? Do you guys know how Derby Tees was started? Chris Marquardt, Ben Hoss, and I drove to Kentucky to do the first Derby Tees announcing ever. We were in Kentucky. We kicked it off that night. So Derby, and I'm telling you, and people can get upset and tell me this isn't true. I will go to everybody. I can show you on tape where we were in Kentucky and did the first Derby Tees live stream. We did a couple for them. I don't really want to get into why we split up, but we wanted to go a different way than they wanted to go. And that's fine. That was fine, right? Derby Tees went off and did their thing. We kept doing our thing kind of on the free side. So Derby Tees was kicked off with Crash Course, Chris Marquardt. That's a fact.
All right. So we're getting into the juice of it. So
and that's not a knock on anyone, right? But that's just how the business has started, and we kicked off really well. And then Mark decided on Derby Tees side to have more people and start doing live stream pay-per-views with commentary, and that's cool. He went and he took off and has done terrific, right? That's like a huge part of our Derby country. We just wanted to go a different direction.
So what were some of the early goals of Track Shot Live? What were you trying to reach?
Oh, okay. Ben and I's goal was, I grew up super poor, super Derby starved. I only got to go to my fair once a year. There was another Derby sometimes my dad would take me to, but I was so Derby starved. I looked for books, movies. I would VHS anytime it was on TV. I still have them in my bedroom. We can go back and watch any of them you want right now. But if it was ever on TV, TLC, or whatever them channels were, I have it on VHS, and I would watch them over and over and over. Super Derby starved. When I felt like I got a chance to bring all demolition derby throughout the country to people that didn't have money and were poor like me, like could not afford the pay-per-views, okay? That's really was our drive, was to get, I didn't care about money, and I know so many of you told me 1,000 times I got to hear how stupid I am because I never care about money, right? But this is my hobby. I make money in a job. I was here to try to grow something. Ben and I wanted to be the most people viewing us, and there was a time where everyone was watching Track Shot, man. So the whole country was watching what we were doing, and we loved that because we could push things that we felt were good for our sport. Not the bad things, but the good things for our sport. That was the goal originally. Just get it out there for free.
All right, so speaking of free, what was one of your best stories from your Track Shot days?
Best story?
Yeah, your best story.
Funniest story or best story?
Well, we got a funniest, so let's do your best.
Okay, I'm gonna go best one. I'm gonna make it a little bit broader. I don't have a best story per se, but I'm gonna say what made us all keep doing it that all of you missed behind the scenes. A lot of times we would get messages at the end of the night, and I could go through my phone and show you tons and tons of messages from people saying stuff like, I have cancer and I'm at the hospital and I'm watching right now live. I'm in the military and I'm in Moscow, Korea, Germany. You guys can go back and watch where people were giving us shout outs in other countries. I've had people on their deathbed watching us. People that we lost in the Derby community, and they were watching live streams messaging us. Yes, I'm stupid because I never chased money. But when those people would write those things to me, I was making the day. And I had people that just wrote me that they just don't have the money to buy pay-per-view. I would love to watch all these pay-per-views. I'm broke, Josh. I can't afford that. But I watch all of your stuff. That made my day. That took me back to when I was younger, and I was just begging to watch some Demolition Derby on a Friday night. That's all I wanted to do. So I was willing to lose money personally and at home struggle sometimes because I really, truly loved what we were doing. I was cool with it because I'd get the message at the end of the night, and it was just someone in a really bad spot watching us and enjoying us for a little bit, and that's what kept me going.
All right, so what was the funniest.
Funniest. Okay, I got this one.
You got
okay.
this one? You got
This
it?
one I'm gonna make some people upset, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell this story. Skinny by far is the funniest person in the world, and somehow Skinny and I were oil and water for sure, right? Like, he made me laugh, but I would also get so mad at him. I wanted to fight him like a brother. There's a lot of times I wanted to fight. I just wanted to punch Skinny right in the face, and he knows that. A lot of times he said he was going to punch me in the face. But one time we're in Florida. This is a true story, but we're down in Florida, and we're all having drinks at the bar. Everyone's there. All the big names are there, right? We're all drinking. It's really cool. We're outside on this back patio having fun. All of a sudden, Mark Elliott, I'm sorry I'm going to say names. I'm sorry. I'm going to say names because it's funny. The story is funny. Mark Elliott pulls in his brand new white, I think it was white or silver Chevy pickup. Beautiful Chevy pickup. Pulls in the parking lot. He's out in front of all of us. He gets out and he's very angry. He's very upset and he's yelling. All of a sudden, the passenger door opens up. And unfortunately, Nick King is throwing up. We all know the big tech Nick King. He's throwing up all over himself. Very sick. Mark is very mad. All of us are like, oh no. Like, everybody's like, oh man, we gotta help. Nah, Skinny. Nah, Skinny. Skinny just starts cracking jokes for 20 straight minutes at Nick King. Nick King's trying to clean up. All of us are laughing. Like, it was a comedy show for 20 straight minutes. I'm sorry, it was at Nick's expense. I laughed. I told Skinny this. I've never laughed that hard in my life. I actually had to leave and go inside the hotel room because my stomach was hurt. I couldn't take full breaths. I was suffering. I was laughing so hard. Skinny was on target that night. Funniest night ever. None of you got to see it except for a lot of Demolition Derby drivers, but oh my gosh, it was the funniest night of our lives. And I'm sorry, Nick. It was funny. It was fun. Mark was a great sport about it. Let me say that. As always, Mark is a good dude, so he was good about it. But you know, in a time where someone needs help, Skinny will just that's Skinny. So.
All right, let's transition a little bit. Let's so how does it feel to be like one of the most famous Derby people, personality, or whatever you consider yourself?
I do not consider myself any of those. I do not consider myself any of those. And you guys call me that sometimes. I appreciate that. But I'm just a normal guy that is poor still struggles for Derby. And I appreciate that because I've always loved our sport. Like, I was playing with matchboxes at 4. Just Demolition Derby is what I did every day with my matchboxes. Every day I'd come home and do it. And I love our sport. So now that all my whatever is gone, my momentum is gone, and I'm kind of going back to my regular life. I feel good about this spot, like with all my teammates. Every single one of them, we all put a really nice stamp on Demolition Derby. We used to always talk, it's nothing you do is forever. So if you're doing something great, enjoy it, because it's not going to last forever. You can say it's going to, but trust old Decker, it's not, and you're going to miss it one day. But I think Track Shot did something really great for the sport, and still does. I mean, watching free Demolition Derbies is cool. And we're also, the thing about that was we were also showing derbies that no one had seen. So it was like kind of two things working together, right? When you were watching us, we were going to California, to Washington, to Florida, to Missouri, to Minnesota, and you were seeing, I don't know, I enjoyed the hell out of it myself, and I'm glad we did it. And I'm not famous, but I love that. Oh, can I tell you a story about this? Real fast. At the beginning of Crash Course, we used to joke that I was famous. We used to make a joke that no one knew who I was. Chris was making fun of me on air.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Chris was making fun of me on air. No one knows who the hell you are. And all of a sudden, people used to start saying the famous Josh Decker, and we would laugh like hell because we made that up because I'm not, you know? And then it just kind of took off, and it was just a joke on a joke that we just laughed about, but I still laugh at that.
Decker who?
Yeah, I'll take all those. I love my skinny names.
So what was one of the hardest parts of starting Track Shot Live?
Starting it?
Yeah.
Really,
during it.
It's growing. It's growing your empire of fans. I felt. I had a really serious, like, I took it too serious at times, and if you were in our group, you know that there was times where I took it very serious. What was the question again?
What was the hardest part of starting or
growing with the fans? You don't want, I'm going to say something, you're going to say you're nuts. You don't want every fan. Not every fan is your fan. A lot of them are your haters. I'm okay to shed them. the people that I wanted following us was good people. People that love the sport of demolition derby, people that just wanted to watch it. I didn't want your drama. We didn't care about your drama. We actually tried to stay out of it a lot of times. We just wanted to bring demolition derby. And it took us a lot of years, but how I knew when we had built a good base was when people would talk shit about us, I didn't have to say anything. Our fans said it all. And I would stop caring what you said. Like a lot of you are losers. You have nothing to do. And I understand it. You know, there's a lot of losers out there who have nothing to do but talk shit on the internet, and that's fine. You are one of them. We get sick of them. And we don't have to listen to you. And I'm okay shedding some of you, and if you get upset with that, it's fine. But a lot of you are ruining the sport. A lot of you just talk shit all day. You build one derby car, but you talk all day. I forgot the question, but I ended on that.
All right, we'll move on. So how did you bring in some of the other characters? Like you got Skinny, Sour.
This is one of my favorite things. Actually, I think I'm not going to talk bad about our competition, but our competition wanted totally opposite of us. They did not. I actually enjoyed somewhat of a comedy. I want people that are fun and entertaining, and super know our sport. Also, I want people that do all different things. We all don't have to be like me, right? I didn't want anyone like me. And how everyone came in is just wicked organic. You just had to be friends with us and feel like you fit in. Skinny, let me tell you a funny story about Skinny. Didn't know Skinny at all. We're out at Blizzard Bash. I'm watching him in his dumb Crown Royal suit that he's wearing. You guys remember that? He's dancing around at Blizzard Bash. And Fatty from Smash It tells me, hey, you gotta hang out with this guy Skinny. I think you would love him. You guys do a lot of extracurricular things the same. Hang out with him one time. So when the derby's done, I go out and I hang out with Skinny. I'm like, hey, let's hang out together. We had the funniest 20 minutes. Again, as soon as I left him, this guy's got to be on Track Shot. Immediately, I loved him. I'm like, he had me cracking up and laughing, and I'm like, bam, this guy is in. And Bobby Brockway worked like that. Sour was the same way. And let me tell you guys something about Sour. And I'm going to say it. At the beginning, people sometimes would complain about Sour. And I would get upset about it. Because Sour was probably the best flavor for our group. It took us to a whole nother level over here. We touched a whole nother group of people that we wouldn't have because we are super into Chevys and Fords and Dodge. Nah, Sour brought color, art, events, totally different stuff, paintings, your heart on your derby cars, like he paints stuff for you. He changed the sport. And yes, he's not a derby guy like us, but his commentary was awesome. I love Sour's commentary. And
especially when you got him rolling throughout the night.
Absolutely, he was great. He would just keep rocking, and he was the best. Let me tell you guys, Sour would purposely stay out of at the beginning of the shows, and he used to say he was our backup guy when all of us would start getting tired. Here would come Sour, and you could see so many shows where as soon as we started lagging a little bit, Sour would come in and bring the pepper because he's all fired up, and he would end the shows really strong for us because we would get burnt out on that stuff. Tixie was, let me tell you, Tixie, we were in Florida. I had never met him, never even heard his name. We're in Florida, they're teching cars. There's a car 3 cars down, and I hear this guy's voice, and he's funny as hell. I start laughing, I go down, and we just meet him. Skinny's introducing us. This is my buddy Mike Tix. 2 hours later, I'm asking this guy to be part of Track Shot Live. He just naturally fit inside us, you know, like it just worked. Bobby was like that. Everybody inside Track Shot that you kept seeing continuously, organically, we were friends. And that's why it was fun, that's why it worked. We were actually truly friends. We were in group chat, we talked every day. Most of us wanted to fight each other every night, but we were actually friends, and that's what made the show good. Not only, that's why it like, when we were picking on each other, and you're like, oh, I mean, there were some brutal nights, right? There were some brutal nights on there. Those are for real. And when that show ends and we're at Denny's together, it doesn't end, and sometimes they get mean. I mean, we've had some bad nights, and we've also had some hilarious nights, but yeah, that's, I mean, organically, you just had to fit inside our group and not be selfish. One of the real quick, one of the biggest things for me was we would let people come on. We would do testers all the time, and you've seen a lot of people come on. Some people 2 or 3 times, they never see them again. We were testing people that we thought would be good on there, but sometimes they would kick themselves in the balls because they would just start pitching about their own items. The thing about Track Shot was cool was none of us that were on it, we all had our own personal things. Sure, we pitched them, but we didn't have to. just you being on there grew what you were doing. Some people didn't understand that, and they would just immediately start, you understand, feeling maybe a little selfish. So then the rest of the group would be like, and we took votes, so anybody thought they got kicked out for one or the other, it was not. We all picked, hey, does this guy get to come in? And slowly we let people come in. Sometimes it took months, half a year. Fatty wanted to be in the original group, and Fatty was part of Smash It. And when you were part of a promoting group like that, we just were out of that. So one day Fatty called me and said, hey, I'm no longer part of Smash It, and maybe could I hang out with you guys one night? And boom, the first Fatty episode ever, Dead Man, was a brutal night, okay? These guys were nasty to me all night long. I screamed at Fatty so much that my son, I forgot he was in the back of the truck. Afterwards, my son is like, Dad, seriously? Like, I felt bad. I was so mad. I had so many messages that this is the best episode we ever seen. This was the funniest one we ever seen. So I've had to suck my pride and go back to them and say, even though I hate you all for how mean you were to me that night, everyone else thinks it was the best episode we ever damn did. So Fatty was in on night one. I was against it, but everyone else was for it because he killed it on night one at my expense. But that's how Fatty got in. Just one night, killed it, you're in.
And we've all heard you got Micah. You didn't cover Micah.
Oh, Micah. Micah was the best, right? Skinny and Tix are down doing a show. They just ramble sometimes where, like, I wanted to call him, tell him to shut up, talk about something else. They have this guy come in, it's Micah. Never heard of him. These guys are rattling. No one tells Micah to do this. He grabs the papers off the table and says, guys, let's start talking about the sponsors. The sponsor, blah, 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 blah. I messaged them immediately. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but we need this dude. We need a guy that brings you guys back to sanity. Don't let him go the rest of the day. And if you remember, Micah was on most of the night that night because I was immediately like this. He is our straight man. When we needed just a handsome, smart, articulate, normal guy, he was Micah. We put Micah up on there, you know? And when you wanted to goof, was the rest of us. Micah was our straight guy, and we've actually used him like that a lot of times. If you watch his commercials, they're just like real. Straight. The rest of ours suck. His would be like, all right, damn it, Micah. That's how Micah got on there. Micah was such a great asset to us. I thought because he wasn't pure derby, he would help us on the route. He understood what his assignment was. His assignment wasn't to talk about 74 Impalas. His thing was to, when these two start jibber jabbering about something stupid, let's get back to what we're doing. Let's get back to our sponsors. Let's get back to talking about this. He was so good at it. If you go watch, all he does all night is rein in them two. He's just reining them in.
And then your most recent, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony was great, and same with Robbie Critton. And they both, like, Anthony is a true Demolition Derby person. I loved his accent. I've been waiting for a Southern accent. I know it sounds dumb, but I've been telling the group we need a Southern accent in here. And when I started talking, I'm like, this is our Southern accent. Like, he's got his overalls on. He's my Southern accent. He's knowledgeable about totally different stuff than the rest of us. And then when I started getting to know Anthony, he's a really good person. His heart, he's definitely doing it for the right reasons. And one thing about Track Shot is it's just a bunch of dudes trying to pull this off. And sometimes you needed a dude to take charge and just say, like, I'll do this. And Anthony just was like, I'm going to do the meat. I was overwhelmed with that stuff. He's like, I'm going to start doing it. And he killed it. Everyone's copying what he started. All the stuff you're seeing, I feel like he kind of started a whole wave. Thank God for Anthony. He brought a whole new wave and some life to Track Shot.
Yeah.
And Robbie, when Robbie started coming around, Robbie was on one of the first Crash Course live streams ever in Kentucky, Benton, Kentucky. And that's when I first met him. And Robbie's such a great guy. And he was like Ben. He's like so knowledgeable. We also need a guy that's like unfazed by it. Like, he's just straight serious all the time. You guys don't understand. He's a tech guy. Yeah, that's how you use him, is like, now explain this to us. He's the guy that sits and explains you how the inside of a 727 works. I don't know. He'll break it down for you straight, not make any jokes, because he's like just into what he's doing, and we needed him. So he fit in there. And as you can see, everyone was like their own little positions, you know. And Bobby was our comic relief, man. I miss Bobby Brockway so much. But what he really was, he was the glue of us behind the scenes, because we would fight a lot. Again, my fault. sorry to my whole crew, there'd be nights where I just believed in something and I would fight for this, and I'd fight this guy, and then I'd be fighting this guy. I'd be yelling at Skinny. Skinny says I suck, like, and we would fight a lot. And who would call you as soon as you get done? You slam that phone. I remember the night that I said I finally may be done with Track Shot. Bobby called me, and Bobby called everyone that night, and Bobby was the glue of us. When Bobby passed, it sucked the wind out of us, because like, that was like our boy, our heart. He knew all about us, and he had started doing more for Track Shot than anyone. He had actually started stepping up when we were kind of stressing out, and yeah, I miss Bob. He was our party afterwards. He was our funniest guy. I loved him so much, but he always picked your heart up when you were down, and that's what I really missed about that guy. Is like, and I'm down all the time, let's be honest. I need more Bob. I miss you, Bob.
What were some of the lessons you learned, good, bad, or ugly, from Track Shot?
Don't, and I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people are getting upset, I'm sorry. You're by yourself out there in the business world. Don't be naive and think that everyone is your friend. Your business partners have your best, worry about you the most. A lot of us were naive. I'm gonna go to Chris, Ben, and I. A lot of times we were naive. We just thought you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. But when you get into business, you learn that that's not what business is about. And this is going to piss people off, but a lot of people stay at the top of businesses because they don't let anybody else in. And you're able to squash things before they take off. And it was crazy, the wall that we fought. I honestly, still to this day, I'm somewhat stupefied when Crash Course talks about doing a live stream and people start bashing it. That promoters got to pay for it or whatever. Just so you guys know, I did all the negotiations. I talked to every single promoter. I never had a promoter say, I'm going to take away from the payout to then pay you. Promoters are business entities. They're money makers. I want to take their money. I don't want to take your money. I don't want to take the fans' money. I don't want a guy watching at home taking his money. I wanted to take the promoter's money because he's a money-making entity, right? I'm pinching off of them. It used to surprise me that everyone hated on it. All I'm going to say is protect yourself, go chase your dreams, but at the end of the day, you're by yourself. And it's good to do stuff with people, but you always have to protect yourself a little bit. And I was very naive when I came into this. Chris and I, Mark Horton and I, joke all the times that we were swimming with sharks all around us, and that's really how we felt. And there would people tell us that we didn't fit in up there, and in some ways I feel we didn't, because we had a heart. We weren't about crushing people. We weren't trying to hurt people behind the scenes. We weren't doing any of that. We just wanted to bring Demolition Derby out. That's my knowledge.
Let's change subject a little bit. Let's go with what was the best show you ever got to attend?
Heber City, Utah.
Utah, really?
Hands down, best.
Why?
Night. Oh my God, it was wild, dude. Oh, I love it out there. Like Blizzard Bash and all them are really cool, man. But I'm telling you, every single folk, go to Heber City, Utah. It's hands down the most beautiful place in the country. The atmosphere is unbelievable. The stands are unbelievable. The sound system in there, they're thumping this thing, right? The cars are sick. The feature I watched, the feature I will never forget, Sam Bando was in 4th place and got rolled over right in front of us on air by, I think it was Derek Shelley. I think it was Derek Shelley that rolled him. And that's scary, dude. I mean, right here, Sam got flipped over. I don't know if I would have got back in, because he got full tracked out of Utah, right? Sam gets back in it because he's a badass. Sam gets back inside it. Derek backs all the way back up to the wall and does it again and rolls him over again. And it was like the scariest thing I ever seen. They still rolled over. Sam was done after that, but like after that there was another roller over when it was down to 3. Hands down, the best Demolition Derby is in Utah. And I'll tell you, I love Northern California. I love the Dakotas. I loved Minnesota. Florida was fun. I loved the Midwest was good, right? I'm partial to San Filippo. I think New York's actually the best, but Utah, something about it out there. Oh, and real quick, if you're a single dude, cowboy hats, toting a gun, Daisy Dukes and boots, like Forget about it. You'll get lost in there. You'll get lost in Utah. It's a beautiful place. Like, it really, I think, is the best. And the dudes are good shit out there. They junk each other and then laugh about it. And I love Utah. I love Utah as much as I love New York.
All right, let's. So, something you're proud of personally that you did during Track Shop.
I'm proud of. I would say just all of it in general. I would say really bringing Demolition Derby to people that couldn't afford it. That was a big thing for me, and I know some of you just don't care about that. And again, we got to be money, money, money. I loved when people were watching that normally wouldn't watch. We would have like people's moms and aunts and grandmas messaging us that were watching, and it's just like. And I did pay-per-view, just so you know. I've done many pay-per-views. The numbers of people that watch on a pay-per-view are nothing near the numbers we were hitting on the live streams. Like, not even. So many more people are watching what we were doing, and that was what was really driving me. Is like, we actually have like the largest viewership, I thought, in Demolition Derby. I thought we had gotten to the point where if we had said something, everyone found out about it on that night, right? If we kicked off a new company, I remember when we kicked off Indie CNC, boom, exploded, right? Indie CNC exploded that night because everyone was watching. We were at Deadman. Todd did awesome. Todd was funny as hell on there, and boom, Indie CNC took off. So that, I like doing that stuff. There was a lot of vendors that you guys know that I feel we helped grow. There's a lot of derbies that you wouldn't have heard of if we hadn't gone there, and then they picked up traction, and then they got bigger. And I'm proud of those things. I got to see behind the scenes where we were doing that for people, growing people, and each year their numbers were going up, and how thankful they were for that, just because of the amount of people watching. I love that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool that was our sport.
All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Last.
Shut up, Tucker.
Two questions.
This was supposed to be 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So, eventually, what started to make you pull away, and why did you eventually just walk away?
Great question. I was getting overwhelmed. I was saying earlier, I was having so many great things offered to me, business-wise, idea-wise, sponsor-wise, like all these different ideas, and I loved running with them. Like, I'd be like, yes, let's do this. Let's do this. My life got overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed in I still have to work for a living. And we remember how much shit I was doing, and then I had to go to work and try to pay my bills and all that. I also wanted to smash cars. I had spinning wheels that we were trying to run, and spinning wheels got so huge where spinning wheels was taking a lot of time. And let me tell you guys something. Someday there will be a point where you're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to know you're burning yourself out at the time. But what happens is, and I just said this earlier, you're going to accomplish all the things that are on your list. You got 10 things. You're going to hit them all. But you're not going to hit them all 100%. You're going to hit them all 75, 80%. And you're going to suck just a little bit on all of them. And then people are going to be on Marketplace or on Facebook saying, oh, you sucked, Decker, tonight. You really sucked. Or that sucked. That video sucked. You sucked. I had to hear it so often how much I sucked. Because I would have an off night or I didn't nail something. That's going to happen to you. All of a sudden, you're going to be like, I'm not killing it like I was killing it. Start stepping back a little bit. You don't have to do all those things. And that's what happens with derbies. Like, you could just like run, you could go a million directions. You're gonna burn yourself out. Don't do that. Pick the ones that are good for you and your heart and your life, and just try to run with those. And when you start getting overwhelmed, it's okay to back off. And I was stressing my family out. One time my daughter looked at me and said, hey Dad, when are we gonna go on some vacations? You get to go on them all the time. She was like 6. That bothered the shit out of me. That still haunts me. That still haunts me. She's right. Dad's all over the country, you know, so that started to bother me. Like, I got to start doing more with my kids and my family, and I did. That's why I started backing away, and I feel good about that. I'm actually at more peace now, getting to do the stuff I wasn't doing before. And another thing was, I was always asking for favors. I asked for a million favors, and I was actually favoring myself out. I tell my friends this, like, I owe all of them so many favors right now because they were going to get cars for me, towing a car here, going to pick up the cat, going to do this, and I would just expect that, you know, hey, they're all going to do, we're doing this thing. I owe all these people a lot of favors, and I was favored out, and I was just like, I can't do this no more. I can't keep asking my family to do it, asking my friends to do it. You understand.
And in closing, what is something you want all the fans to know?
I love you. The fact that I even feel like I have fans sometimes, I love you guys. If you are actually a fan of what we were doing, the ones of you that were truly fans and just clicked on to watch the Demolition Derby for free, I love you. Because you kept us going. I do miss you. And why some of these things failed was not you. They failed because of promoters trying to ruin us, competition trying to ruin us, interfighting. The fans is actually like, each time we'd have fights or problems, it was the one thing that would keep us going. And we really did love your messages. Like there was ladies that would make us cakes and bring us pies while we were on air and stuff. Like, God, we love that stuff. We love that stuff.
Minnesota Third Ale.
Yeah, we love that stuff. And I felt like we were actually wholesome. That was the one thing about it, is like we were just trying to be real Demolition Derby. And all you fans that are just pure Demolition Derby, you're my kind of person. I'm just poor folk that want us to smash cars, and that's what I'm gonna do till my last days. I'm gonna just smash cars by myself and my kid in small Podunk, New York, and I'm actually feeling good about that.
All right, Decker, we appreciate the time.
Later.
Have a good one.
See you.